The Toronto Raptors and the 2019 NBA champions haven't had a nice time since their championship, and today we are going to talk about how the Raptors can get back into contention, and I am joined by Mr. Kade, aka Bench Squads.
What's good? What's good? How y'all doing?
And guys, his links will be in the description, but remember, if you're new to the channel, twice a week we go from the worst teams in the NBA to the best teams, talking about how we think they can angle their teams towards a championship, and today we are doing the Toronto Raptors. So jumping right into it, Toronto Raptors obviously came off a championship literally 2 years ago. And I don't know, when was the quickest decline after a championship? Because they hit it hard. 12 seeds just 2 years after a championship, similar to the Heat when LeBron left. But everyone was old when LeBron left. But they still made the playoffs at least. These Raptors are not looking good. Kade, what do you got to say about them?
I think first and foremost, you have to get rid of Pascal Siakam and Kyle Lowry. They were great when you were making your championship run, and they'll be great for another team who wants to make a championship run, but you're not ready. They're old. Pascal Siakam is going into his prime now. Who knows what that ceiling is going to be or how good he's going to get or how much better he'll get. Kyle Lowry is 35 and only on the decline. You need to move them to win now teams and take assets as you can get them. I mean, if you took that much of a decline and you want to work your way up, the most important thing for a team in this situation is get assets. Like I said in the Kings video and the 2 videos before that, you have to get assets. That's a huge part. And you have a lot right now, but you want more picks. You want a lot of future picks. So you have to get rid of those two, your 2 stars, and it's going to suck. And that's only going to send you into a tank, which will make your picks more valuable. And I don't know what their situation with future picks is, but if they have their own, I mean, go all in on a tank, get rid of them. And you had a lot of good building pieces, like a Fred VanVleet, and you have Rodney Hood now. That would have been great on that team, but you don't need them anymore. You're not trying to win anymore. So get rid of them. I mean, there's no point in having them. So, I mean, at this point, just trade all your vets and all your good guys. And if you're not going to win with this squad, I mean, it's a decent looking squad on paper, but they're not going to win. I'm sorry. They don't have it. They don't have that guy that was Kawhi Leonard. So, I mean, you just have to understand that things change. You don't have that squad anymore. Move on. You have a good building block in Gary Trent Jr. at only 22 years old. You got him for not a lot. You didn't have to trade a lot to get him. So you take that as you can get it. You take all the young guys like that, and you just try to mold another championship roster from the bottom to the top. I mean, you have to evolve a squad. You have to just get what you can get with what you have. You have to flip assets.
That's interesting that you say they should trade Pascal. Now, Kyle Lowry, I agree because he's 35 and can, help a championship team, so people are willing to give up assets for him to win now. But we have to keep in mind, they were 12th seed, but they basically played the entire season away. They were in Tampa Bay. People don't really take that into account. They weren't at home. They weren't at their homes, which really, some people say it doesn't really matter, but it does change a lot psychologically, but that's not the point. I think Pascal's an interesting one because clearly some people think he has hit his ceiling with those spin moves that he does. He spins a lot, but I think Kyle Lowry should bounce, and maybe Pascal they could try to make him that guy because, like you said, they have a lot of young talent right now, and they have the 4th pick. So if they get someone who can, assist Pascal, because I don't think Pascal could be the best player on a championship team, don't get me wrong, but clearly he could be the 2nd best, debatably the 3rd, but he played very well. So I would say the 2nd best on that team. It's close, definitely. Gary Trent as well, 22 years old, someone who's obviously a great scorer. He has the scoring ability that not many people have. Very, very fluid on offense. Someone who can complement Pascal's game if it does improve. Because like I said, we don't know his ceiling. If he gets better, I think Pascal, they have to hold on to him. And then they have players down the roster from Rodney Hood to Fred VanVleet, even Michael Flynn. I think Michael Flynn, his name Michael Flynn, the Flynn kid. He even looked better towards the end of the season. Yuta Watanabe got absolutely dunked on by Anthony Edwards. But again, someone who looks like he has game. OG Anunoby, Stanley Johnson. They have heads. They have things to work with. So obviously, I'm going to agree with you. They're not a win now team. But they are an interesting team if a free agent decides to go there. Imagine if Kawhi Leonard decides to go there, but go back there, which I don't think is, when Kawhi Leonard wants to do something, he'll just do it. So we really don't know what could happen. Anything could happen with Kawhi Leonard. He's just a weird guy. And if he does go back to the Raptors for, let's say, they absolutely have the pieces to trade to kind of go back to championship team. They have Aaron Baines, someone who is a good role player who has improved a lot over the years, coming into a bigger role. And then Fred VanVleet, who's played amazing in the playoffs. They have a team that can, I don't want to say compete right now, but a Kawhi Leonard away from being in good standing. And obviously, they have Nick Nurse, an amazing coach, defensively, offensively, one of the best coaches in the league. So I don't think they're in the worst spot, but they're in a weird spot. Like, I'm saying that if Kawhi Leonard does go there, which the chances are probably very, very small. So like you said, they should rebuild. And I don't know if they should jump into a full rebuild, attack players in free agency, try to get players in trades, maybe try to pick up with that 4th pick someone who can change the atmosphere in Toronto, because you guys already know who the Raptors pick, or if they traded the pick, but we don't know that yet. But if they can get a player of Paul George, Kawhi Leonard caliber, I don't know why I'm stuck on those two, I think they can make it interesting.
I understand that completely, and I understand that they do have a great squad that would be perfect with the Kawhi Leonard. My issue is, I don't think that they'll get a Kawhi Leonard. I don't think that they'll get a player to that caliber just to get him. I agree they're a good market, and if I was a superstar, I'd want to go play there with that squad. That's a perfect squad built around a Kawhi Leonard. So therefore, I start going there. That would mean probably win now. I just don't see that being a viable option or something to rely on. I'm not going to rely on that. And if I'm them, I see that, and I'm going to jump into the rebuild and try and get that guy to build the squad around it, because we see they're good at building a squad around a star. So you already built a squad around Kawhi Leonard. You know how to do that. So it's time for a new era, and you have to rebrand, rebuild, everything. Not rebrand in terms of everything logo and all that. Rebrand as in find a new identity, find a new star, find a new, rebuild, get that new star. And you know how to build a team around a star. You've already done it before. You're aware of that. You have a great coach who, honestly, you just take a lot of young guys that aren't great, put them in Nick Nurse's system, who was a G League coach, which is geared towards development. They're going to develop. And that alone will help you get the pieces you need for the championship roster. Plus, your upper class people like Masai, they know how to put a squad around a superstar. So get that superstar, rebuild, go all in. Now is a great time. Now is a better time than ever, especially when the East is loaded with the 3-headed monster of the Nets. You're not going to compete. Just do it. Just send it.
Yeah, and I think this was like low-key a blessing in disguise for them to be away. Because obviously they were in Tampa Bay, so they basically had away the whole season, which affected their season, in my opinion. But low-key a blessing in disguise. Like, they weren't going to go to the playoffs and make noise. And now they have the 4th pick, so it all worked out, in my opinion. And I think if they could get another good pick this next season, because this next season, like I said, like we both agree, kind of they're not really in contention. And with the Nets and the Bucks, not even the Bucks, just the Nets, if they're a healthy team, no one's beating them, not even the Bucks, in my opinion. So they really have to pick a direction. So see if they get any free agents. If not, then they do unfortunately have to go into a rebuild. They have the pieces to work with. They have young players to go up. So I'm not worried about the Raptors. And the Raptors always seem to resurge. They're always, kind of good. And if they're kind of good, they're pretty good. And they're a big market team. They have all of Canada behind them. So I'm definitely not worried about the Raptors. But guys, that is Toronto. 12th seeds. Next week we are doing 11th seeds. But that's it for today's video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Check out Kade's links in the description. But we're out.
Peace.